I'm gonna have to stop making these videos because eventually people are just gonna call me a liar. Because things like this can't really happen. Trips like this don't really happen, especially not to the same guy over and over again. The same couple.
What's up, honey?
Well, we're a couple months late, but we're leaving Middle River, Maryland right now under power because there's no wind, but we're under power, which means our engine's working. And we are leaving. We are on our way to Puerto Rico. Don't know if we're going to make our weather window on Thursday. If not, we'll have to wait for the next one. But right now, what's important is we're leaving. We're on our way. The life has begun. Whoop, whoop. Hey, Bethy. What are you doing?
I'm steering the boat for the first time since mid-June.
Wow. Can you believe we've had to do that much work to this boat?
No, but I'd like to thank the Academy, the rigging company.
You would?
Well, it wouldn't be this cold if it weren't for the rigging company.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yay.
Well, I'd like to thank my husband for being awesome, and our parents for being really, really awesome and taking us in and letting us have good times with them.
Yeah. It was a wonderful stay in Maryland, no lie, but it was a little long as far as temp goes. So let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico, here we go.
Yeah.
Is it Puerto Rico? Here we come. It's our only time going under this. We'll probably never be back here in our boat. So I'm going under the center.
And it's a not busy day.
Right.
Okay, what you're seeing right now is the last time we had fun on our sail to Puerto Rico. This was probably the day after Christmas, as we were sailing out of the Chesapeake Bay into the Atlantic Ocean. Our ultimate goal was to head towards Bermuda and then curl down to Puerto Rico. We didn't need to make landfall at Bermuda, but that was the general path we expected to take, a little arc. And we were having a great day as we left. But almost everything we were forecast and researched turned out to be wrong. That first night, we got through the Gulf Stream and we were in sustained 30 plus all night for about 12 hours. A storm, rain, 30 plus knots. At one point we hove to just to get some rest. We were in a triple reef, hove to, and our old slab reefing system tore out of our main boom. It tore out of our boom, which left us with essentially reefing the really old-fashioned way for the rest of our trip of tying the sail to the boom if we needed to reef. I did have one spare pulley we managed to put in for our triple reef, so that we actually had a real triple reef with a pulley that went through and we could tie it off and pull through a pulley that actually just screwed right into the boom. But if we wanted a single or a double reef instead of the triple, we just had to tie it to the boom. Not optimal. Let's see what else happened. Oh yeah, the next morning in the rain, as the storm let up, it was still raining. It was very overcast. Our bilge had been siphoning water in, so it had been running the whole time. The battery was nearly depleted. We fired up the engine. We ran for about 30 minutes. We started overheating. The belt had shredded. We went into our spares. We had two spares, one that was left on board the boat when we bought it, and one that was an old belt I took off when I replaced the belt originally. So that was a spare belt that was used. We put that on. It made it about a half an hour before it shredded, because it was about 2 years old and used. So we grabbed out the old third belt, and it didn't even fit the engine. So now we had no engine, which means no alternator. We had 3 solid days of rain and a 4th day overcast, so we had no batteries, no solar, and it really depleted our batteries tremendously because the bilge pump really just drained everything down. So we were out of batteries, and we fought for the next week to charge our batteries. And any sunlight we could, we were rearranging our solar panels to charge like one battery, and it would get that battery almost charged by the end of the day. That's how depleted they were. And then we'd have to use it overnight and kind of deplete it again. And we did not want to use our starter battery because at the same time, as you'll see later, we were doing, we were trying to fix the belt problem. And you'll see that later. And so it was a real struggle. And when all that was done and we finally did get sun, we were becalmed for 3 days straight. The first 2 days being becalmed, we went 75 miles in 48 hours. But we didn't have an engine because we had no belts. So we couldn't run a water pump. So we just sailed like they did in the olden days at 2 knots. So that's what we did. And then after that, that first calm left after 3 days. That put us at our first week. We were about 1/3, maybe 1/4 of the way to Puerto Rico after a week, after 6 or 7 days. And then the winds picked up and we started traveling at 5 or 6 knots pretty consistently. Sometimes we drop down to 4. We get a little becalmed for a little while or something, but we had probably 12 or 13 or 14 or 15 squalls that ran into us, and so we just rode them. We saw them coming. We're like, hoist the sails, let's go. Let's catch this stuff and let's move. And so when the squalls came, we'd be moving at 6, 7 knots, and we would shoot down as many miles as we could. And that's what we did to get to Puerto Rico. So we had a fan belt problem, we had a battery problem. For a couple nights, we were sending out notices at about midnight that our batteries were all going to go dead, and we were going to go dead, and we were going to lose our AIS, and we were going to lose our running lights, and we were going to lose our batteries and our radio, except for handheld. Just putting out a general call out, just to try to be as safe as possible in case a large ship, a cargo ship or something picked it up. We wanted them to know we were out there at least. But no problems. It's a sailboat. We did what we had to do, and we got to Puerto Rico. So that's the shorthand version of this sail. But it was a little worse than that, and we can talk about the storm later, and probably a little small thing. I'll talk about the first night, because that was a debacle. The first night was something. We were not prepared for a storm of that strength, and we had not made the boat ready for a storm of that strength. And there are some very important lessons learned, but that's like a whole other thing we can talk about on a different video if you guys care. This video is just about the trip from Maryland to Puerto Rico, just some blurbs and some videos. There was a whole stretch from the 26th to about the 1st of January where we were exhausted and we didn't even take pictures or film. So that's why I'm talking to you right now from almost exactly 1 year later in the harbor of Bequia on Christmas Day. This is Christmas 2022, and this video is all about what we did right after Christmas 2021. So just sharing this with family and everybody, and if you're interested, that's where we're at, and follow along and enjoy this. And yeah. Happy New Year. It's January 1st, 2022. We are on the Atlantic. We are sailing to Puerto Rico. And but what's happening right now is we're in a little bit of the doldrums. We've got about 6-7 knots of wind blowing. We're moving about 3.5 to 4 knots. We're sailing at about 3.5 to 4 knot speed. We got all our canvas up. We got our Yankee and our interstitial and our main, and we're sailing in the direction we want to sail. And it's very beautiful and calm waters. I don't know if you can see that behind me because of all the sunlight. But oh yeah, there's sunlight. So January 1st, 2022, solar is starting to charge our seriously, dangerously depleted batteries, and they're filling them up today. We're just loafing along in the ocean, sailing at 4 knots, 3.5 knots, and the boat's just gentle. And Beth is making bacon cheeseburgers. Hey, Bethy, what's going on today?
Sailing?
Okay. So what day is it?
It's January 4th.
Okay.
It's some day of the week. Not really sure which one.
Me neither.
Yeah. Tuesday?
Again, no idea. So what was weather supposed to be like today, and then what is the weather like?
It's supposed to be sunny and dry.
At the most, yeah. Yeah, for today. Yeah. Just in case you're wondering, it's that number in the bottom right-hand corner, folks. We're blowing at 23 knots, 22 knots right now. And, yeah, it's raining. But we are on the right path. We are headed down all our fun stuff. Right, Bethy?
Yes, and I got all the salt water washed out of my hair because I refused to put on my jacket at first.
Yeah, when all the rain started, yeah. But that's because we had to triple reef our main.
Because that's all we can do to it right now.
Right, that's all we can do it right now. But at 22 knots, that's what we do. We're not interested. Look, we're going 5.2, 5.1. At one point, we were doing 6 knots. There you go. We're running 6, 7, 7. How fast do you need to go? Yeah, we're having a wonderful time. It's January 4th, and it's raining real good here. When we're triple reefed, we have the staysail out. It's 24 knots of wind. We're running at 126 off the wind. Boat's running about 6 knots. Yeah. So that sound you hear is our engine running. Remember, earlier video I said we lost our fan belt, and then I put on the spare, and we lost the spare. So I grabbed the third spare, and it wasn't any good. And then I made one out of 6mm Dyneema. Well, the knot of the splice of 6mm was too big, and it got shredded. So I have the smaller stuff, and I'm actually making, this is like 4mm or something, 3. And I'm actually making knots in it into a fan belt. And what we're doing right now is we have one. We tied it up, we ran it and stretched it for about 3 minutes. Then I untied it, re-spliced it, put it on nice and snug, and now we're running it to destruction and testing it. So that sound you hear is my engine running. It's running at temp. It's running at engine temp. The pump's turning. This is not good enough to cool the alternator. Never thought it really would be, just kind of hoping and desperately praying it would be. It's not. So the alternator's not producing any electricity. It's just isn't a good enough belt. Not tight enough, not pulling the alternator. But that's our engine running. And we're running right now, and that's really important because we've got 65 gallons of fuel, and we've got an anchoring to do when we get there. We are 4 days behind schedule right now because we went through the doldrums by sail at 3 knots, or 2.5 knots, instead of just motoring through them at 5 or 6. So instead of getting there the 6th or the 7th, at this point we're looking at the 10th. And we love sailing, but we're tired, and there's just 2 of us, and we weren't quite expecting a 20-day sail, right? Or a 14-day sail. We were thinking it was going to be a 10. So we budgeted food for 14, and we got extras, and we got water, but with all this power issue we haven't made water, so we've only got 35 gallons right now, and we'd like to get to Puerto Rico. So we're gonna cheat. We're gonna test a couple of these to destruction to see how long they last, make sure they can keep the engine cool while running, and I'm gonna make about 5 of these, 6 of these, and we're gonna keep one ready for Puerto Rico so we can run our engine to get to an anchorage, or and then take care of things, or motor against bad winds. If, like right now, the winds are coming almost dead out of the south. Right, they're supposed to be coming from the southeast. They're coming dead out of the south, which means I can go east or west, and I need to get south. So now's a good time to test this belt. We're going to go south until this belt breaks, or when it's on there breaks. See how long they last. Going to start testing. We'll see. Anyway, that's what we're doing. It's not going to solve our energy problems, but it will get us to Puerto Rico a couple days faster if these will hold up for several hours. If each one of these belts lasts 5 hours, we can do 20, 30 miles of motoring, and that's per belt. And I think I've got enough of this stuff to make about 5 belts. And we'll keep one for Puerto Rico, and we'll just do the best we can. I ain't against sailing, but right now we're in this weird area where the wind's curling around and blowing straight north from the south. We can push through that and get to that southeast, east-southeast wind. We're golden, girls. All right. We're less than a day out. Tomorrow morning we're going to be in Puerto Rico. But we've been out here so long that we've had to start drinking our tonic water with lime. Why is that, Beth?
So we don't get scurvy, and because we're tired of water.
It's 7:05 a.m. local time.
here near Puerto Rico. It's January 11th. We left Solomon's December 26th. So, it's a long trip. Would have been shorter if not for the engine issues, where we could have powered through the doldrums, but instead we had to sail through them, which added about 3 days to our trip. Maybe even 4. But it's island's right over there. You can see it. It's been a long last night on the water.
Puerto Rico! I can see buildings. We're that close. I don't know if you can see them on this video, but I can see buildings. We're about an hour and a half away from our waypoint that gets us into the East Coast, which puts us about, I would say, about 2 or 3 hours away from dropping anchor. Don't know if you can see it over there, but those breakers by the land, there's rocks out there. Las cucarachas, rocks. And we're going to shoot between those, and then over here, I don't know if you can see those rocks over there, kind of sitting out there. Those are some other rocks, the Los Farallones. Probably pronouncing that completely wrong. But got to shoot between those, and I'm going to come back over here. Now way down there, I don't know if you can see it, there's a big, big building. That's one of the new marinas. That's it. We can actually see where we're going to be anchoring. Welcome to Puerto Rico! So I'm not getting as emotional as Bethy thought I would, but it's pretty awesome to be in paradise and know you're going to be here for the next 18 months or so and explore all of the Caribbean islands, starting with Puerto Rico. I don't know if this video does it justice, but this water is a gorgeous, gorgeous color. And we're headed down that way. There's the Cucaracho rocks there. And I know, boat stuff everywhere. But it's just gorgeous. 15 days, 16 days. Was it worth every moment of it? I don't know yet. I'll let you know after I get a good shower and a shave and a haircut and sleep and get all my paperwork taken care of and get customs and immigration and COVID done and clean up the boat and clean up myself, and about that time it'll be February? I don't know.